Hello, everybody, and welcome to this spoiler free discussion of basically the first 10 hours of Kingdom Hearts 3, which basically takes us up to Tangled, which is, I believe, like the fourth world you'll probably encounter. Maybe I'm off by one. I'll do the math as we go. But I am joined here today by Shay,
Hey guys.
who often joins me in these little discussions.
Yeah.
But basically, my goal is just to jump in and talk about broad aspects of the gameplay and how it looks and how it plays and all that stuff. We're not going to be covering anything that's specifically related to Kingdom Hearts originals, like if somehow Ventus merges with Ansem or that actually might happen. I'm trying to think of the most like bizarre thing to happen that would not
Find out
happen.
that Axel is actually Riku's older brother, who is also a vessel of Xehanort.
Right? Yeah. So we're not going to be talking about stuff like that. Crossing my fingers that doesn't happen. But
Oh my god.
there's some things that have happened that I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll save that for later on down the road. Maybe a month from now, maybe two. It depends on how fast we are. I would like to do a
Right.
spoiler discussion, but I'm rambling now. So, again, you should be safe to listen to this. So I think we should first begin with the cock tease that is Kingdom Hearts 2.9. Shay,
Oh.
how did you feel when you saw that pop up?
When that popped up, I was like, you have to be kidding me.
So you missed the ending of Fragmentary Passage. That is the game that's in 2.8 HD, the Aqua intercool between, I guess, the most recent aspect, which is why it's called 2.8. But basically,
Right.
at the end of that, it's the exact same scene of Sora in the spaceship being like, how do we get to Hercules' world? So we kind of knew that Hercules was going to be the first, or Olympus was going to be the first world. That was going to be the one that we're visiting first. And so they replayed it here, which I thought was like, okay, well, people might not have played that, so whatever. And then they zoom out, and it says Kingdom Hearts 2.9. And I wanted to scream. I'm like, you have to be kidding me. This is like a master troll. Like, to do that, to have people waited, maybe since Kingdom Hearts 2, because they might have skipped all the random portable stuff, because if it's not
Right.
called 3, they might not even, care. So they might be lost completely because all those other games are so canon, and they go out of their way to explain things that happen.
Yeah.
Like,
That blown my mind so far, but no spoilers.
yeah, but in the game's menu, there's like a primer you can go through. So they do a pretty good job of catching you up. But
Oh, yeah.
basically, if the last time is 2, and then they jump you into an old world, albeit like super brand new, obviously, it just
I-
felt like a weird start. So it's been in there every single time for a place to basically do the typical RPG side quest of an arena. That was perfect. To then like blow it into its own world is kind of cool, but also again, if it's in every single game and we've done the Hercules stuff multiple times,
Right.
it just felt really weird. Also, every couple steps, I was so surprised that I thought that would have evolved at this point, but it's still the exact same Kingdom Hearts formula of a lot of running forward a little bit and then a cut scene and then maybe one battle and then a cut scene and then running forward. I was like, is this what the game is going to be? And because it was old stuff, maybe that's why I was just feeling so fatigued and
Yeah.
just not thrilled about how the pacing was.
It does feel a bit jerky at times. I will agree with that. Sometimes I'll see a chest like as soon as I enter a room, and I'm like, "Oh, sweet, I'm getting a chest." And then there's a cutscene, and then there's a battle, and then I forget that the chest is there. And it's happened. It's happened several times to me already where I've backtracked just because I'm in another world, and I'm like, "Oh, there was a chest on that thing," and
Another thing is, it is the fall of Olympus, which is basically the end of Hercules. And because it's not really introducing any like new Kingdom Hearts stuff, really, it's just like the end of that movie and a tutorial. What do you think about the graphics? It's really striking to me because it's been the exact same style since 1, which was
Yeah.
2002,
Yep.
2001, whatever. And it's been that same style, which I thought has held up really good. And now this new one,
Yeah.
while pretty,
It's
it's a little odd.
it's been kind of building little by little. I think the biggest like graphic like jump was in 2 when you got to see Captain Jack.
Yes, that felt so weird. Just the juxtaposition between like a realish human
Yeah,
and Sora was
and
like,
then
whoa.
anime kind of. I think it looks so beautiful, but it's just kind of blowing my mind because it, like you said, it still feels like the way the old game looked. Only
It,
it's on a stronger engine. It's in a better system.
this is the first HD Kingdom Hearts that's not a remake. I guess you
Yeah,
could call Fragmentary Passage since that was an original game, but it was more like a kind of demo short story that was only like 2 hours at max. But this is
yeah.
like the first full blown thing. It skipped PS3 and
All
PS4, so
together.
2 generations. And that the HD system is where we got introduced to the fact of patches and maybe things are a little bit glitchy and herky jerky. And I
Mhm.
showed you that video of
Of
Donald's
Donald.
coat trying to get away from him, and I was like, oh, it was really funny because it wasn't distracting. It didn't delete my save. Stuff like that is very funny. But I was like, oh, I might be in store for some weird stuff here. So all this stuff was just kind of
Yeah.
like you said, blowing my mind because it's just been so long. It's like, oh right, we've been in this generation for so long now, and now Kingdom Hearts is in it. So now it's trying to like introduce the two together like on a weird date.
Yeah. Yeah, and I finally looked at the credits as like it was opening up, and I realized that they're using the Unreal Engine, which is pretty standard nowadays. I have yet to come across a glitch in mine.
Donald's was like the biggest thing I saw. Maybe some clipping, like hair clipping through the ground, like obviously uh, Rapunzel. I think that the
Oh,
hair physics, I think they did pretty well, but they obviously couldn't
yeah, her
contain all
hair
that
is
hair to whatever. So
right.
sometimes it looked like it was going into the ground. I was like, it's fine. It's a lot of hair. I understand that.
Her hair's magic. Let's just leave it at that.
Also, in your game, did like the very first cutscene with Yen Sid, was his mouth like off?
Yeah, it was kind of.
Yeah, and that's happened a couple times too, and that's kind of how Kingdom Hearts was. There's a lot of cutscenes with lip syncing was like absolutely perfect and really well animated, and there are some times where they showed no teeth and their mouth just kind of flapped. So that was just weird, and I guess that returns in this one too, except it's better animated. It's just like the lip syncing is off a little bit.
The ports have tided us over, but this is the next installation, the next number.
This is the final. This is a culmination of literally everything the series has done up to this point, which
Yeah.
will bring us into my next point, the gameplay. I know it sounded like we're kind of down on it, but kind of once you get out of Hercules and the next part after that, it's kind of like, oh, okay, I understand what's going on. It's not as much tutorial heavy. They'll still be introducing some
Yeah.
things, but you basically got what you're gonna get in that first 2-3 hours, kind of.
Yep.
So they brought in almost every battle mechanic from 1. The great thing is there's a lot, but if you just want to hit X and smash stuff like in 1, you can do that. You can ignore all the button prompts and stuff. You'll still probably do pretty good in battle.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that intensive, but if you like a lot of the systems from the other games and missed it, it's kind of back here and there. For example, in Dream Drop Distance, there was the flow motion stuff, so you could basically parkour off
Parkour off of
walls
everything.
and do like some sick combos. And then you had these Dream Eaters, which were basically Pokemon that followed you around instead of Donald and Goofy. They're not back so much in this game. They are kind of like a summon now, but there's those two things are in there. There's the shot luck stuff from Birth by Sleep, and also I would say that maybe the whole Keyblade thing is also kind of like the deck system that was in Birth by Sleep, where every single Keyblade now is different. You can equip up to 3 keyblades and switch them on the fly.
I love
and if you,
that.
it's great. If you use them enough, they will basically transform into something else. Every single
Oh,
keyblade
man.
is different. The first one got Olympus. So you use it enough, it'll turn into a shield. So you have this sweet like yo-yo shield like throwing around.
Yep.
Then there's like a final, and then it goes back to the normal Olympus Keyblade. And the next one you get would be like Toy Story, and it turns into like a giant freaking hammer, and then a drill. It's just like it keeps combat so fresh. If you like one over another, you can just stick with it. There's like one that transforms into a gun. It's great.
I don't know if it's new, but that whole being able to level the keyblades up now.
I believe that is new. I've been not doing that because it seems like I didn't count all the locks, but I think each one has like 10 levels, and I'm just
Yeah.
kind of curious how
Well-
many we're gonna get and how much like materials are gonna be scarce,
Oh.
because I found the synthesizing, which is back, and the Keyblade stuff is a new part of that. I found like the materials are pretty scarce, and I haven't been able to like make that much. So even though I could make some things, it's like low tier stuff. I'm like, I don't want to waste this thing that I might have to save later on for something else super cool. What
Yeah,
about
I
you?
can
Have
see
you
that.
have an abundance of?
I have been synthesizing a lot of stuff. I've just been lucky that things have been dropping. It helps
ahead.
that I'm using the one keyblade that has lucky on it. I have a higher chance.
There is still loading,
Yeah.
but for the most part, a lot of the worlds are one giant area that flows into the next. Like for a great example is Toy Story. You begin in like Andy's room, and then you can go outside, and that's one big environment. And then the other one is Galaxy Toys, which is 3 floors, all with different shops, all in one loaded area. It is just like massive and so impressive to me of
yeah.
how much stuff is here, and like the detail on like the toys and stuff. We're talking out of context of this podcast about like staring at the toys and looking at every single thing because it's all rendered. It's not like a blurry image or whatever.
Yep.
It was just fantastic.
Yeah, the one series of toys that they have in there, Beasts and Bugs. I really liked all of those because it made me think of like Power Ranger toys. They're just really colorful. They're animals, but they're also machines.
So yeah, it's really cool that everything is not like tiny little areas that you go to and it has to
Yeah.
load into something else.
The loadings are big, but once it's loaded, you have such a big area to explore.
There are some annoying things though for loads. Okay, so Remy the Rat from Ratatouille is in this,
Oh
this
my
game.
god, yes.
But you can do a Monster Hunter type thing where you can cook stuff and then eat your meal, and it will give you like a little stat boost.
How do you
for-
eat meals?
and
I got
tell
that
you-
little chef hat on all the stuff I can make right now, but I haven't eaten any of the food I've made.
Oh man. Okay. Well.
So I have a ton of food made.
Anyway, it's a short little series of mini games that you prepare food really quick, but every single time you can go there from the save menu, but every single
do
time you
like
have to
that.
load into it, and it takes a while, and the mini games are so short that you only have to pop in there for like maybe a minute at max, and then
Yeah.
pop out, and it's another load. It's like, it just kind of felt weird that you can't just do it in a menu, that they had to do it like a mini game kind of thing. I understand a
Right.
mini game for the first time, but everything after that is just kind of weird.
I noticed one of Goofy's abilities allows him to notice ingredients.
Everyone shouts out to me like, I think this. That's a terrible.
I think there are ingredients here.
I think this is going to be a good spot for some ingredients. That's my
I-
Donald.
I thought that meant that Goofy would be doing the cooking when I first saw it.
God, no. It would be a mini game of trying to keep him alive as he falls downstairs, and like all of his Olympic
All of his old like Disney
shorts.
movies.
Yeah. So yeah, the world's interconnected. Looks great. It's also kind of cool to see all these old worlds redone in a new way. Also, NPCs like Twilight Town. There is tons of NPCs around. It's so
that
weird.
town
It's
actually
like they,
has people living in it now.
it's like they overcompensated in like a weird way. It was like, All right, you're showing off now. You don't need to like have this many people in there.
In Olympus, like all the NPCs that you save, they all talk.
Yeah, that was also very weird. We kind of got off track from the gameplay, but I think I pretty much said everything with the basics of combat, except for the craziest introduction that I think is so overpowered. The attractions. Not explained at all how Sora can somehow summon these Disney rides out of freaking nowhere. Doesn't use
Oh,
magic. Just you hit a
no.
heartless that has like a circle over him, and all of a sudden, like,
Yeah.
I can summon this giant water ride. I can summon this giant ship or this carousel, and the or the
Or the
teacups. It's like
Or
it's
the,
so cool because it's so bright and colorful, but it's also
yeah.
like it really destroys like an area. It's like, okay, I'm done here. And it's all random too. I've gone through like areas where I've never gotten that many, and other areas where it's
Oh.
like every couple seconds we're like actually two stack on top of each other. It's like, all right,
Oh yeah.
that's a lot.
That tends to be what happens with me, and I end up getting that no, I get the pirate ship a lot, and then I get that that shooter one a lot.
I hate the shooter one. I
And
like the
just-
teacups a lot. The teacups are really fun, and the water ride.
The carousel can go straight to.
It's really weird how fast it is. It's
The timing's weird, and like once you figure it out, then it throws two at you, and
But it is really cool, even if
like
it
all of
doesn't
them.
make sense. But basically, like, if you really just wanted to boil it down, you could just hit X, maybe do some shortcut magic, and then, like, if you see a triangle prompt, just hit that, and you'll be super fine at the game. You don't have to jump off of walls or even worry
Yeah.
about, like, Keyblade transformations. But like I said, if you just see a triangle prompt, you can just do that. And I think you're going to be pretty fine. It's also cool that party members don't have to be swapped. Like in Toy
Yeah.
Story, Buzz and Woody come with you, and they're all doing
and
their
you
own
still
thing.
have Donald and Goofy.
Yeah, and they're all doing their own thing, and they're competent, and you can see if you
Yeah.
just sit there. I was doing some photo stuff, which I guess I'll get to in a second, of just like watching them do battles, like in this background, this giant battle scene of all these things happening, like 30 things fighting each other at the same time, and it's all pretty well rendered too. It's been so freaking long since phones
Oh,
were
yeah.
not the things they are now, so of course they have to introduce a gummy phone. So now
Oh my God.
the gummy phone
Yeah.
is now Jiminy's journal. It is a way to take pictures, which is also a side quest thing.
It's a
It
collection
is,
of its own mini games.
yeah, it's like some old like Game and Watch
Yeah, the
sty-
Game and
type of
Watch.
stuff. It has so many things. Like, oh, of course they would have phones now, and it doesn't feel weird, intrusive. The only thing I will say that feels weird is when the game is loading, the characters freaking tweet and they
Yeah.
hashtag things. I'm like, you wouldn't hashtag that. There's
Hashtag blessed.
there's an opening scene, like the first 5 minutes of the game, where Sora is in this dream sequence, and he's like, "Oh, such a beautiful ocean." Hashtag like 4 things. I'm like, could you really tweet from that area? It was just so like weird. Like, why? What are we doing? I guess they have to have something for us to read.
Who took that
in between?
picture?
They could just have a picture. They could do some lore thing. Like, did you know in Kingdom Hearts 1, Sora did this? It's like, no, some weird, funny garbage stuff that is hilarious, but also just like kind of takes me out of it. Like, what are we tweeting here? Are you really gonna be tweeting about like the Heartless coming? Like, oh man, battles getting really
Battles
wild
of
up
bros.
here. Hashtag light versus dark. Hashtag follow me on Instagram. Hashtag Mickey is the best. Hashtag. I think that's definitely like a troll humor, just like 2.9. So I gotta love it.
The gummy phone. I groaned when they brought it out. I was like,
But speaking of gummy things, the gummy ship returns, and
it does.
it's like an open world kind of now.
I
It's not.
really, this is the thing I'm so happy about, is that it's not just a series of missions anymore. You can explore in a gummy ship.
Before it was basically if you wanted to go from Twilight Town to
Tarzan.
Night Before Christmas, it would be one track every single time, no exploring, just a mission, just a straight up whatever, or you could warp there.
Yeah.
This time it's like this big. There's different galaxies, and each one has like a set amount of planets, and you put waypoints down. You can go to it. there's like random battles, kind of. You just kind of explore and collect things.
Yeah, you can
and
come
then
across people and then initiate
there's Heartless
stuff.
roaming around, and then you get into it, and it's basically Space Invaders. I almost lost the name. I'm not liking it that much. I like the exploring, but I don't like how the battles are on the map, and I kind of don't like the bosses. It's just like another layer of you kind of have to level up your ship to be good enough to get into these worlds, and that means you have to do a lot of side stuff. It just seems like a very forceful thing. And I tried to build some stuff onto my ship, and it's still just as bizarre as before. I do not know what I'm doing. I don't know. I'm still trying to get used to it, basically.
I have mostly just focused on getting those treasure pods, and I've found that I've leveled up quite a bit just from getting those.
Yeah, I think we basically covered everything. Is there any like final thoughts or any mechanics that I missed or story bits?
We waited so long for this, and I lost faith. I'm going to be honest. I lost faith that Nomura knew what he was doing. But
Didn't.
he did not. He brought us exactly what we waited for. And it feels like this relief just washes over you when you realize this is what you've been waiting for all those years.
Do you know what the most refreshing thing about this game is? There was no event for the unveiling of the launch day.
Oh.
There was no weird, crazy DLC hike to get to Kingdom Hearts 3. There was times with the mobile game, like do these things, you can get bonuses or whatever, but there was no freaking like year-long mile hike to get to Kingdom Hearts 3. Hey, we got 3 mobile games coming out. Hey, we got this anime. Here we got this condom. You can, if you want to share Kingdom Hearts, you can go have sex and repopulate the world. Woo! Hashtag whatever.
Hashtag
dumb
invincible.
ideas. Square Enix
Hashtag.
is on fire. Basically, we're talking about Final Fantasy 15 because that is just like such a weird thing that Shay and I both have like a weird feeling on. I think I feel like I can speak for us both and say that we both still like Final Fantasy 15.
I do. I just wish.
Everything around it just makes it feel less special and stupid.
Like,
there's so much stuff.
15 at its core. Great game. It's so beautiful. So many things were done right. Everything that surrounds that Final Fantasy 15 idea is garbage. Utterly garbage.
Yeah.
The billion DLCs, the anime, the movie, the...
By the time we got to Final Fantasy 15, I felt exhausted, and there's more stuff after that. I'm like, guys, you release the game, and then you do like a DLC thing planned. I don't think there's anything planned for this. I feel it's like a bit weirder for there to be DLC. I guess it depends on how the game ends. It could open up a thing, that anything is possible, or do like an interquel thing. And I'm okay with the DLC, but to do a promotion before the game comes out, I always hate that with marketing because it's like, let me just do the game. If your game sucks, I'm not going to care about it anyway. But let's not. We won't tread down that. I can't wait to talk about it. Talk about
more.
I can't wait to talk about it. I can't wait to do like a spoiler cast to really dive into everything, and I hope everything lines up the way.
Yeah.
I don't know how I want it to end. But I'm having a good time now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to think about are these things going to line up. Was that a plot hole? I don't know. Probably is going to be a plot hole. But they're trying their best to.
They're trying
to
their best
really
to nip
tell you
all these in the bud. The final ending credit is Kingdom Hearts 4 ? And then like 8 titles after that.
They defeat Xehanort and they bury him in a grave. And after the credits, his hand bursts through, and it's like, and he makes he has 4 fingers and he does a 4 in the air, and it's like, question the end. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Hopefully we will doing a spoiler cast as soon as we can. If you like this video and want to see more from me, then subscribe to my channel, and also check out my articles over at The Gamer. All these links and more are in the description notes below. Thanks for watching.